Hello, welcome back to the YouTube channel of Bethel Evangelical Free Church Hanley. I'm Pastor Gervais Charnley. This is a different Hanley. This is Hanley William in Worcestershire. And this is the parish church of All Saints. It's located in the picturesque Team Valley. It is Norman, and it features the first church I think I've done on this channel, the first video I've done of a church that features tufa. Now, tufa is a sort of limestone that's formed in effectively a bubbling spring, and it has this quality that it's quite soft to cut, but then it dries hard like concrete. And so it's quite a nice stone to use for details in building. We'll see that as we go around. This church used to stand next to the church rather, used to stand Hanley Court. That has since been demolished, sadly. So what we have here is this nice Norman church, little church, and this is Hanley William, and it's a very, very different place, I can tell you, from Hanley, Stoke-on-Trent. Let's have a look around. Here we are at the West End, of course, the normal place to start, because that's effectively where the language of most English parish churches begins. It starts at the West End and you proceed east. We have the font, a lovely big Norman font bowl there, and this is one of the windows. Now here is the tufa. You see this somewhat sponge-like material here, it's actually hard as rock, because it is rock, but it looks a bit sponge-like because it forms in a bubbling limestone spring. These are the old free seats. You can see the open benches, relatively comfortable actually. But then you have the pews. These are, of course, which have been rented. This is a blocked niche, and here we have lots of lovely tufa. The pulpit is interesting. That is a pulpit, believe it or not. And it is this wonderful piece of woodwork that sort of leans forward. And there is the somewhat more normal desk, and the reading desk, but you can see this is 17th century chair that's actually built in, so that cannot be moved. And this is dedicated to rescue from oblivion the memory of Rice Mark Clark, a native of Bilth, Brecknockshire, more than 30 years curate of this parish, an understanding, comprehensive and just, and enriched with the goods of nature, improved by cultivation, living ennobled by his own worth, countenance esteemed and beloved by all. He was interred in Rochford churchyard in the year 1811, and Colonel Newport has done this justice to departed excellence, because he's very, very, very Georgian, that, not evangelical at all. Tufa arch, chancel arch. Now, tufa is, the useful thing is it's quite easy to cut, and then it just dries solid, so it's not too difficult. Just throw some light on the subject in here. There we are. And here we have memorial to James Wakeman Newport, Charles something, of Hanley Court, 44 years, Colonel of the Worcestershire Regiment of Militia. And he died in 1835, it looks like. John Newport. So these are the Newports of Hanley Court. So the house sadly has disappeared now. It's pulled down in the 20th century. There's the east window, and we have these figures. We have in the middle the figure of the Lord Jesus Christ as the Good Shepherd, and then we've got two allegorical figures representing on the left-hand side the church and the right-hand side the synagogue, the Old Testament. It's an odd window here. I haven't seen many like it. You can see the church here is open eyes, veiled head. She's carrying a cup and looking to Jesus. On the other hand, you've got the synagogue, and she has a crown toppling from her head. Her scepter is broken. She's wearing the high priest's breastplate, and she is blindfolded. She cannot see the Lord, and it's of course a comment on the Jews not recognizing the Lord Jesus. We should pray for them. Here we have memorial to Mrs. Cecilia Maria Berry, youngest daughter of John Newport of Hanley Court, and she's buried at Aberley the family, well, which is very, very close by, and another one of these Newport memorials. And here's this lovely tufa. Wonderful stuff. Wonderful stuff. That's the priest's door. There we go through that arch made entirely of tufa. We've come now into the tufa area, the area where it is to be found, and where it was used quite extensively, particularly for decoration of churches. As I say, because it's an easily worked stone that nevertheless is quite solid. So there we are, inside at Hanley William. Much smaller, of course, than the church at Bethel, and a very, very different area from Hanley, Stoke-on-Trent. So that's the inside. Let's look at the outside next. So we're now outside here at Hanley William. You can see behind me this nice wooden belfry with its shingles on the little spire. Nice porch, Victorian porch, but then obviously there would have been a medieval porch, probably wooden, probably like the one at Stockton, and unlike the one at Stockton, which has just been kept and now looks rather old, and it's been replaced by something that's fairly similar, but say post-medieval and New Victorian. Let's have a look around the outside and see some of what we can see. There's of course quite a bit of tufa in the walls here, and you can particularly see behind those memorials. That of course is where that arch that's filled with tufa is, and there we have a wooden spire with its little weathercock on the top, which of course is a type of weather vane. Porch, the the south porch there, south doorway, is very plain, and over there would have been Hanley Court, and then of course the house has gone completely. There's no evidence even of where it stood, unfortunately. Nice late 12th century, early 13th century lancet there. And round the west end, it's a bit difficult to get around because of the lumps and bumps, but you can see that's the extension of the graveyard. So the hall, the big house would have been over there somewhere. More tufa blocks to be seen here in the west wall, and then around, see these quoins here made of sandstone. Around here we've got a bit of tufa there in that window, and then there's the north doorway, and that hole in the middle would have been for, I'm not sure what it was for, been for something anyway. And then of course this is a Victorian window, but it's very nice and hasn't been over restored. It still is this little village church that's very much worth visiting, even if you're not, of course, from Hanley, Stoke-on-Trent, and you're interested in what the other Hanleys look like, which is one reason for me to come out here, is what do the other Hanleys look like? Because there's a Hanley Castle, which is nowhere near here. It's in Worcestershire, it's in a different part of Worcestershire, and there's a Hanley Child, which God willing will be the next video, and we shall see. That's rather cute, as the name would suggest. So that is All Saints, Hanley William. Of course, called Hanley William, be to do with a knight who held it at one point, a knight named William. So there we are, Hanley William, this little rural Hanley that's so different from Hanley, Stoke-on-Trent, which was originally called Hanley Green, and therefore when it was called that it was rural, but it's not anymore. This, however, is this quiet little place in the picturesque Team Valley in Worcestershire. So thank you for watching, and may God bless you and keep you until next time.